Edward here from earviewer.com. I have another video for you. Continuing along, working and experimenting with these ARV style experiments, trying to answer some questions, big questions that I have. The question I have for this one deviated a little bit from what I've been thinking about recently, but with some current events happening, I figured it would be a little interesting to take a look at this. But this experiment was very interesting for me in a lot of ways. That are not really directly linked to the question itself. I'm not so much interested in the question as I am what's taking place during the experiment. So how I set this one up was I had sent Dustin, my friend Dustin, fellow remote viewer who lives in Houston, I sent him a text message on Monday night. Monday would be the 21st of November. And I asked him if he could, no, it was Tuesday the 22nd. And I asked him if he could have two targets selected and ready by the following morning, which would be Wednesday the 23rd. And he said that he would. So that morning, Wednesday the 23rd, I did the session. So he knew that the project was set up, that there was a project and to select some targets. I did the session Wednesday morning, the 23rd, assuming that the targets had been selected. But Dustin is a very busy man, and he didn't have a chance to select the targets until Friday being the 25th. So between him, he knew about the project Monday the 21st, or no, Tuesday the 22nd. He selected the targets Friday the 26th. I did the session Wednesday the 23rd. So my session was done 3 days prior to the targets being selected. Now, here's what's interesting about that. One, okay, I did the target 3 days prior to the targets being selected. That's okay. But what's interesting is that you'll see in the session where there is an element of displacement taking place, meaning elements of both targets can be seen. The targets that Dustin eventually selected, one of them was the Spring Hill Buddha Temple in Henan, China. Big temple with a big giant Buddha and mountains surrounded by these mountains. The other target that he selected was an image, a picture he took on his family's farm in Houston of his grandfather's 1946 tractor. Houston is very flat land, and so it was a picture of their old tractor on their farm. The interesting thing about this session is that at the end of the session, I started to draw a wheel on top of the structure, and there's structure surrounded by mountains is what I was experiencing, and at the end, I started drawing a wheel. And I felt displacement happening. So I felt that an element from another target was starting to enter into my awareness, and I felt it, and I said it, that I feel displacement, which is interesting, and it's always interesting to me. But the interesting thing was this was 3 days before the targets were selected. So that's the part that is most interesting to me. Okay, so what was it? Called this Project 4658. Will Donald Trump complete his first term as President of the United States of America? If he will, I will describe image A. If he will not, I will describe image B. Here is Dustin describing or opening the targets after the session. After he had sent me the text saying the targets are ready, I immediately sent him an image of my board session and asked him if there was a match, and he said yes. So here he is opening the targets after that had been set up.
My name is Dustin Newcomb. It is 4:38, November 26th. I am analyzing session number 4658 for Edward Reardon. This is what he sent me earlier. Trying to get the glare off of there. So we're going to start with envelope A. today is Spring Temple Buddha in Henan, China. And envelope B. This is a 1946 8N Ford tractor on my grandparents' farm. So in analyzing the session, what stuck out for me with the idea that people go there, they visit, it feels open, airy, and fresh. People go in and out. Reminds me of an old house, standing in front of a structure with hills, mountains in the background, a man-made structure. And actually in the session, inside of the little structure that he built, he drew a wheel, which kind of reminded me of the wheel of Dharma. A lot of Buddhist motifs here. So you can see hills in the background on the structure. So I'm going to say A.
So if we can go by the results of my experience, my session, it's pointing to image A, that Donald Trump will complete his first term. And why this was even interest to me is that this week, the Hillary Clinton's people are talking about recounts, and they're going to challenge the thing, and even if that does not go through, will Trump complete out his first term? Not necessarily will he get harmed in some way, but will some scandal happen? Nixon style stepping down or whatever. It's just so crazy right now. Anything can happen. And the unexpected, expect the unexpected in what's happening. And so I just want to take a look at that. And from what this experiment is showing, which in my opinion was clearly pointing towards image A, the temple surrounded by the mountains, it would show that Donald Trump will complete his first term as the President of the United States. So I hope you enjoy this session. It's a very interesting session. Take a look at this one and see where the displacement comes in. And again, 3 days prior to the targets being selected. So I hope you find that interesting as well. I find it fascinating, more interesting than the question. So I hope you find it interesting as well, and many more to come. Wednesday, 23rd, 8:52 a.m. This project, 4658. This is the question. Will Donald Trump complete his first term as President of the United States? If he will, I will describe image A. If he will not, I will describe image B. And that is the question. That is the question. So that's the question. Dustin already knows about the project. Targets should have been selected. I want the right answer. 4658, 4658. Round, flat, dense, smooth, edged. 4658. Angular, large, moving, back and forth. I'm getting this image of like waves going in and out, in and out, large, peaked, pointed, inside, So I'm getting this kind of shape like that. But four, 6, 5, 8 inside, edged, stony, bright, dimpled, round, flat, big. Let me get focused here. Get focused. Get focused. 4, 6, 5, 8. 4, 6, 5, 8. Looping. Dense and solid. Vertical. Edged. Curving. I'm getting this kind of feeling like that. Kind of overlapping. Overlapping. There's a dimensional sensation in this. I need to get focused. Describe the image associated with the true answer. 4, 6, 5, 8. Curving. Large. Earthy brown. Outside. I'm getting a big outside here. But this feels like it's angular here. Airy. Fresh. I'm getting a sensation of an outside scene. Outside scene, you know, like trees and it feels like there's something man-made here too. something about this. This structure. I feel like I'm standing in front of a I'm standing in front of a structure. With hills or mountains in the background. How strong is that now? Wooden. Seems, I mean, I'm getting this sense. Could be an old structure. All right. Move to what is most interesting to me about this structure and describe what is most interesting about this. Feels old. Or wait. What about it now? What's most interesting about this? What is most interesting about this? You know, people go there. People go there. They go in and out. It's kind of like open. Feels open. Feels open. People go in and out. People go in and out. It's a weird thing like a frame of the structure, like not complete as it was. Not completely as it was. and stony, as well as wooden for the stone. Like an old house or something like that. Reminds me of an old house. People go in and go out. Stop in and go out. What else? I feel like there's something else. Feels like there's something else. People. This feels like it may be displacement. I want to go ahead and end on that. So we'll see, the main thing really is this building, or this structure, but it feels like there's outside maybe a scenery with some mountains or hills. Feels like it might be old. Reminds me of like an old place. People coming in and out, visiting or something like that. You know, like that, visiting. All right.